Right, hello everybody out there again. This is Mikey P, ready to do another commentary today. We're going to be looking at Father Ted, Series 1, Episode 3, The Passion of St.Tibulus. If you want to like and subscribe, please do. Tell all your friends how wonderful my fan chat over these things is. Anyway, get your DVD or file or whatever it is you use to watch. And we will press play in 3. And if you're going to watch along with me, that is, you're going to watch along with me, get your DVD set. Passion of St.Tibulus, Series 1, Father Ted, in 3, 2, 1, play. Always found this music a bit tragic, you know. I like Father Ted. It's probably one of the better new comedies of the 1990s. And of course, Father Ted, played by Dermot Morgan, who, after 3 series of this, wanted to leave, and would have done so had he not passed, which is a shame, because he died, unfortunately. I think he was a heavy smoker, a drinker. Anyway, we've got the thunder going, and there's Dougal, played by Arlen O'Hanlon. Looks like rain, Ted. And they've got the South American priest over here. Cuba. Good place to have a Catholic priest, I suppose. And there's Father Jack. And this is the great dubbing stuff over the back, over the top of his speaking. There's horrible overdub, which is what they do on some of these like foreign language programs on Netflix now, don't they? They give you the Money Heist and things like that. They'll play some. It's not a bad dub actually on Money Heist. Squid Game wasn't great, but there you go. And of course, the Cuban minister fancies the housemaid, Mrs. Doyle, for some reason. Espendio drifted off. Is this Mexican? Oh, sorry, Cuban, Spanish. She seems to be getting the vibes of him that he fancies her. So she's running away because, of course, all Catholics are supposed to be scared of the sexual act, I believe. Are they playing Cluedo? Or Clue to my American brothers? And sisters, sorry. And anything. Len Brennan is a bishop that comes across Ted's path many times during the series. He's a right evil shit. And apparently he's had a kid. Being a Catholic, you're not allowed to do that kind of thing. So this stuff's quite daring for the 90s, obviously. Pressing the Catholic thing. Colonel Mustard. With a candlestick. I don't know where the game originated from. Cluedo. Did it start in America or start in England? And if we licensed it, we had to call it Cluedo, which is weird. Because Clue's better. We're going to find out that the candle lighting the table is Father Jack's earwax. And having earwax problems myself, I think he's that is a lot of earwax. That candle there looks really good, doesn't it? A joke on the build. Father Jack always, and the guy playing Father Jack, I don't know what his name was. But he's been around forever, and he's only just recently died, I think. He's hard of hearing sometimes. And of course, here we go, this is going to be the payoff. Yeah, all that was in his head last week, which is gross. A papal funeral. Excellent. So this aired on the 5th of May in 1995. So it's about 25 years old. Nearly 30. And you can see this has got the usual camera setup of 3 cameras stage in front of an audience. Say when. He just wants more and more and more and more. He's pouring it on him. I think he poured it out on purpose. Wonder how they really got on, because there's never been. They said but they've never been like massively close, the cast. So they just came together to make the program and then buggered off at the end of it, really. Oh no, Len's coming. Including. And of course you've got to put the cards are supposed to be in there, Ted. How can you play the game without the cards in there? What a waste of damn. Anyway, he's got his Del Boy jacket on, I hope you'll notice. Genuine Camelaire. So he's saying he's like a Del Boy charlatan from Cuba. And here's the bad dub again. It's a bit ungrateful, Ted. Hernandez. Oh, here's the presents wrapped in some kind of foam. It's like insulation foam. Really weird. And here we go for the youngsters out there. This is a video recorder, a VHS tape. Before DVDs, streaming and Blu-rays, it was a VHS, which is basically tapes. We all used to have them. We used to record everything on tapes, and they degrade. Every time you watch them, they degrade a bit. People sought after them now for some reason. They started sorting after them as soon as I got rid of mine, so... There it is. You really shouldn't have. Oh, and of course this is some kind of fertility symbol from Cuba. It looks like it's from like the Incas or something like that. But he's doing a Del Boy, this guy, isn't he? Or looks a bit like the bloke from the Addams Family, or Munsters, you know. The Addams Family? The lead guy in the Addams Family? I can't remember his... Gomez. He's off in his Porsche, his old 19 whatever it was Porsche, looking cool. The parochial house is where they live, which is all where the religious people of in Ireland live. Craggy Island is a fictional island off the side of, because this is where they send all their unfortunate religious guys who they don't like. Because Father Ted himself, the character, is supposed to have embezzled some money somewhere along the line. So he's been punished by being put here. He's a son. But they're saying the bishop has got a son. Of course, Dougal's as thick as whatever. As thick as a whale omelette, as Blackadder would say. He's even forgotten Father Hernandez already. But yeah, Dermot Morgan was... I think he got this job because he played Father Right On or something in some kind of satire. And he was a comedian, satirist, so acting came later to Dermot Morgan. But he's really good. I don't think of anyone else who could be Father Ted, really. He was as good. Mrs. Doyle, she was in the English Shameless. McGlynn, Patrick something McGlynn. Recently playing... Oh, here he comes, Jim Norton as... Bishop Brennan, and I think you might have seen this guy in The Boy lately. He played The Boy, the weird dummy film. He played like one of the characters. So he's still going. He looks like quite old then, but I suppose he must have gone grey early. I think he's quite a famous actor. Oh, he's got to hide this away, obviously, because Catholic priests, we don't do anything to do with sex, because sex is sinful according to Catholics. Yeah, weird, I know. So they're just sitting there. Oh, here we go. Dougal, don't say anything about the sun. Gonna do it. Are you ready for it? How's the sun? The Son of God. The world of religion. Well, what this story is going to be about is about a film that's being shown on this island. He wants to get away. She forces cups of tea on whoever doesn't want it. You must have a cup of tea. Mrs. Doyle wants you to have a cup of tea, you're going to have it. Piggy in the middle? Bishop? Piggy in the middle? Yeah, this actress, she's played in... Oh, he was in a Fraser episode that got him the job as Bishop Brennan there. Jim Norton. Oh, great. So he's moved around. Feck off. Which people even use now. They use frig or feck instead of the F word, which we're not allowed to use anymore. I wonder what he did at this wedding. What do you think, old Jack? He must have been insane. And here we go. We're going to find out about Father Ted. And the money he went to Vegas with. It reminds me of someone I know who steals money to go to Vegas when it could go to better things. Cabbage. Dougal's very good because he's very sort of simple-minded, but very. They were only nuns. I think he breaks it down for a priest later on, and we might get to that kicking the Brenham up the arse and all that episode. We might get there eventually. I know I'm not the fastest uploader in the world, but you know, life gets in the way, peeps. Life gets in the way. Then a blasphemous film's going to be shown, The Passion of St.Tibulus. Now, the Pope has banned it, but of course there's a legal loophole on Craggy Island so they can play it. Is it any good? Dougal wants to watch it. He's in California seeing his son and wife, I'm guessing. Larry and Moe making a Three Stooges reference, which people wouldn't have even got in 95, let alone now. Though Three Stooges were a big thing, like Laurel and Hardy, that sort of thing, around those times, I'm guessing. 50s, 60s, slapstick comedy, supposed to be funny. I don't think I've ever seen it. Don't mind Laurel and Hardy. I don't like Charlie Chaplin very much, like the Marx Brothers. Would commentate over a film, but I think I'd get bored sitting and trying to talk over an hour and a half is really hard, or 2 hours. You try it, peeps, you try it. See how hard it is. You've got all these reactioners on here, and I've watched them and they dip all the time. I try to talk as much as possible. Bye now. So they've been told to protest this film. There's a few people here, even a blind man with his lab. This guy turns up in the Song for Europe episode. Is it subtitled? Dubbed or subtitled? Oh, subtitled, and she's off. Not reading subtitles, and you can imagine the amount of people who wouldn't see it through a sub. Even though all those reactors did watch Squid Game with the subtitles because the dub was bad for the algorithm or some kind of weirdness on YouTube, which I won't let bother me because my small but loyal audience out there doesn't care, and I don't care about the algorithms. They can stick it up their bum. Because the algorithms boo, they're booing. See the guide dog telling them off? Who's that? But this guy played the host of the Eurovision Song Contest in the Song for Europe episode when Father Ted and Dougal had to write My Crazy Horse to try and enter because the organisers were sick of doing it in Ireland because Ireland always used to win the Eurovision Song Contest a lot. So they wanted to send in a dud to win. And they did. Which was Ted and... But the Crazy Horse song was quite good when you actually got the imagined version, was really good when they nicked it. Disrupting the show. So they've actually gone to see this thing, The Passion of St.Tibulus. We have to think of other people. The amount of people in that... So I'm guessing they hired out some knackered old cinema. I don't reckon... Unless they're doing this in the audience thing for the show itself, which is possible, when no one's there. This might be where the audience sits and actually watches the show. Would have been a cheap turnaround for whoever produces, because you can imagine this probably wasn't a high-budget programme. Channel 4 obviously made this in the 90s, so the budgets wouldn't have been massive. And I think that would have been an advert break back in the day, because we'd have had one advert in the 90s. Now we'd have probably had 7, but Frank Kelly played Father Jack. So St.Tibulus is about a saint, but it's some sex. I presume it's like The Devil's, an old Oliver Reed film that was supposed to be blasphemous. I watched it, it was a load of rubbish, really boring. Don't watch The Devil's. It was by Ken Russell. And he was always supposed to be like an edgy director, and I suppose it might have been edgy in 1970, but... Oh, we've got Blockbusters, which was a game, that the quiz show that they played in the 80s and 90s, done by Bob Holness was the host, and it was college students, and he had a board of letters, and they had to pick a letter, answer a question with that letter as an answer, and move across a board, and it's like Connect 4, but without, answering a question to get a letter. Another 8 hours sleep, because obviously priests are lazy and don't do much. Well, he is now. The Lion for the Lads. Mrs. Doyle. So there are 3 series of this, and 1 Christmas special, and 25 episodes total. So yeah, they obviously wanted to criticise the Catholic Church or religion in general because it's so ridiculous. But and Morgan, guy playing Father Ted, said he didn't want to end up playing the same character for years and years, like, I don't know, the leads in Only Fools and Horses, Dad's Army, these shows went on forever, so. Plus, if you keep it with low, he told him to feck off. If you keep the series length short like Gervais does for his programmes, he normally maxes out with 3 seasons at the most. Supposedly keeps it fresh, which means that they've run out of ideas, basically. But I suppose that's also true. You've got to keep the thing fresh, haven't you? Hat-Trick, also producers of Have I Got News For You, which I love. I love Have I Got News For You. If you want satire, watch Have I Got News For You. Makes a mockery of the whole British fucking politics system, which is a complete nightmare. All the interiors were shot at the London studios, and all the locations in Ireland for the exteriors. And of course now Father Jack has nicked all the stuff out of Bishop Brennan's bag. Oh, it must be booze, he's happy man. Yep, see, he's happy. Oh, Jack Daniels, Father Jack Daniels. Do you think that's his last name? Never. And here's supposedly, they have to pretend to be happy when when Father Ted and Dougal come in. They hate each other and they're always beating each other up. See, forced together into marriage by the Catholic rubbish. Up your arse. And now here we have Dougal and they've got to pretend they're in love. Like a good Catholic couple would be. Like Henry VIII was happy with his 6 wives under Catholicism, eh? He wants handcuffs for him and Father Ted. See, I haven't seen these actors in anything else. I've seen Dougal, he's been in Death in Paradise, perennial detective series in England that started with Ben Miller and then moved on to Chris Marshall, and then it was Arlen O'Hanlon here he played the detective, so if you catch that, it's good. Watch Death in Paradise, good series. Also got the cat from Red Dwarf in a lot of seasons of it. He is a policeman, he wasn't just having a laugh. Handcuffs for Father Ted. And him to lock himself. Careful now, down with this sort of thing. This is supposed to be about useless protests for pointless things. I mean, there are much more important things to protest about, obviously. Like the abortion laws in America, which is fairly concurrent at the moment, which the women have been denied their right to choose, which is ridiculous by a bunch of old religious loons again. So, yeah, you know where I stand on that argument. The stupid idiot men that have voted ladies away their rights. I mean, what the hell? Religious, stuff it. Women should be able to choose whatever they want to do. And that's the end of my soapbox. Everywhere. Now, of course, they're saying it's a tempting film and it's a bit, racy. So, of course, everyone's going to go and see it now. So their protest is going to have the opposite effect. Oh, that was probably Mona Lisa, and I think that was one film. And the actor in that only ever made one film because they didn't want fame at all. And it looked so much like a woman, but it was really a man. And back in 1990, that was a dodgy subject. Now, of course, it's, as it should be, par for the course, and who cares? Be whatever you want to be, peeps. And be proud. Of course, well, no, they shouldn't take a blind bit of notice because the church is so old that no one cares. It's anciently boring. She's dead, Father. Died today and she's still in the garden. Couple of hours ago. See, I mean, I've rambled along and jumped around, but that's what I do because I can only say so much. But this is all filmed in Ireland somewhere. And it looks pretty grim, doesn't it? I think it's filmed grimly because of the grim subject matter, I suppose. Even though it's a comedy, it looks grey and grim, doesn't it? So, Can't remember what that guy was in. He was in other stuff, but... The most successful film since Jurassic Park, and at this time Jurassic Park had only been a few years old. I think Jurassic Park was either 92 or 93, and this is 95. Oh, and here comes Jack to get his view of it. Wants to see those nudie ladies playing priests. I mean, the Catholic Church still probably bans films that attack their version of reality and religion, their reality. He hasn't got the keys, of course, so they can't get out. Looks like a bedstead that they're railed to, doesn't it? Attached to. Well, they had to take it home. That would have been a heavy bollard. Do we think it's phone? Oh, and here's the bishop, who's now very unhappy with all three of them because they failed to stop the film being watched. So Jim Norton must be a really sort of international actor because he's been in loads of stuff, and he was in Fraser, which was massive in the 90s. No, it's okay, not my cup of tea. We weren't massively into American sitcoms in the 90s. I mean, Friends got big in the late 90s. But we had Fraser and Everybody Loves Raymond and all that. Cheers. Didn't like Cheers that much. I sat on the stool, though, when I went to Hollywood. Forrest Gump, close as well. Topical for the time. I mean, Forrest Gump was 94, wasn't it? So here they are as the advertisers of the movie. Ye three speaks in sort of Shakespearean English, this guy, doesn't he? I suppose it's a proof of his old faith, even though he doesn't even take the law seriously, the religious, whatever, Catholic creed. So they're going to send him to America, and he wants to go to Vegas. He's South America, so that he can promote like Catholicism there, and have a million unwanted babies like in the North America now. In fact, as of 2022, with the ridiculousness. No soapbox, Michael. No soapbox. Been knocking the shit out of himself since 907. But we're ready for some blackmail. Father Jack got the video, didn't he? So, V-Man. For a nice South American tribe. Arrows. I'm going to send Dougal to the Philippines, which I'm sure he'll love muchly. Muchly, Red Dwarf. Watch Rimmer. Oh, here we go. Jack, don't wake Jack up. Don't tell him to shut up, because here we go. Whack. Good night. Bishop Brennan's got one in the gob, as he should have done. I suppose that's a metaphysical punch in the face for Catholicism for you. Wait until you see. pH. pH 1. Is it acidic or alkaline? I can't remember. Oh, 1 is very acidic, isn't it? But now we've got the blackmail material. That is a videotape for all those of you that don't know. That was the DVD of the 90s and the 80s, people. Probably seen it in Stranger Things. Oh, here we go. Here's been at Bishop Brannan being filmed with his wife and child in the 1940s, by the look of it, at some horrible beach. Oh, so just do it. He's got a Nike. Are they promoting Nike on this thing? Oh, she was in a bikini 5 seconds ago. Now she's back in her dress. Cut, cut, cut. Well, they've saved themselves from having to go. They've got a good blackmail on Brennan. And we're closing in on the end already. I can't believe it. But I hope you enjoyed my analysis. I'm much better than all the other reactors, aren't I? Not. But here we have the closing credits already. And there's Mrs. Doyle, played by Pauline Mayen, whatever. She's been in Doctor Who recently as a mother of one of the characters. And yes, I hope you enjoyed this trip down memory sitcom lane. I don't know what to pick next. Tell me below what you want me to have a look at next. I can talk all over for you. What do you reckon? And put all your likes and get your mates to subscribe. Because if I can get loads of money, I'll be... No, you know it won't happen. It's fair enough. Anyway, thanks for listening, and I will hear from you again and see you again at some point in the future. Guten Tag, good evening, and goodbye.